So our next speaker is from Sanofi. Her name is Jignasa Oza, and Jignasa is the head of quality assurance. Good afternoon, ma'am. Oh, you have to unmute yourself.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. And you are also calling to us from India, or are you in Singapore?
Yes, India.
Very good. Good afternoon. Hope you had your lunch.
Yes.
And your topic today is EBR as the GPS for pharma manufacturing.
Yes.
All right, looking forward to listening to your presentation, and I won't take up more of your time. Let's start with your presentation. Are you able to share your screen now?
Yes. Can you see it?
It's starting up. Yep, but you got to start your presentation. It's on edit mode. Yes, very good.
Okay.
All right, Jignasa.
Yeah.
The floor is all yours.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, colleagues. So in these 20 to 25 minutes, I will take you through the electronic master batch record for pharma manufacturing, improving quality by going digital. Of course, my colleagues post-lunch, they have talked much about electronic master batch record. So I'll begin with the data related to data integrity observations issued by FDA to the pharma companies. In last 1 decade, 194 warning letters are issued to the pharma, and the trend is increasing in last 4 to 5 years. Country-wise, if we see the warning letter issuance, China got highest, followed by US and India. Even India. So we in India, most of the pharma industries are very much comfortable with the conventional documentation system. My colleagues has already talked much about it, but still I'll go through the conventional systems. So the advantages of the paper document are it is very simple, easy to fill with paper and pen as the process flow. Activity can be done by an operator. It doesn't require IT skill, simple transcription of value, and it is cost effective. But at the same time, challenges are more because of the risk of errors, incorrect transcription of values, incomplete details in process, and missing signature. Many warning letters are issued due to these observations, missing entry and missing signature. It's a huge document for archival, lengthy verification process, more than 100 pages batch record, require a huge resource utilization, and in turn, delivery of the product in the market get impacted. Sometimes previous version of the batch record may be issued at the time of issuance, and all these observations result into data integrity issues. So if we want to design an electronic master batch record, I have listed here all the processes of the manufacturing of the oral dosage form. So dispensing is the first step, followed by verification of dispense material, line clearance, manufacturing, sampling and testing at in-process stage, line clearance, compression, filling, coating, capping, sealing, inspection and packing. During the product manufacturing process, cleaning and status labeling is a simultaneous activity to be performed. If we want to design an electronic master batch record, within the organization, we have implemented various software systems in order to increase the data integrity compliances. Like SAP and ERP, these are implemented partially or fully within the organization. It may be at material management stage, or sometimes batch release is also included in this. LIMS, EMS, already my colleagues have spoken much in detail. MES, PLM and DMS. DMS is a document management system of related to quality assurance activities. So all these standalone software systems required to be integrated to generate an electronic batch recording system. But while integration of different systems, a focus attention must be paid for the instrument interface. Like weighing records are with the recording printouts or a computer recording system. So this system also required to be integrated. Equipment operated with the PLC data. Within the process, QR code or barcode are implemented at various stages. Employee access, equipment logs, and preventive and breakdown maintenance. So all these instrumental system interface must be integrated with the software system at the time of BMR designing. When we are designing MES, I have listed here few areas where the MES design require additional focus and attention. Equipment logbooks, of course, these operator can log process with the tabs, but how this integration will take place, because as we have heard in the other session that there are some legacy equipments which are difficult to integrate with the MES. That is why this equipment logbook and integration is thought of. Equipment and area identification. In conventional system, this is very easy. We can take out the paper label and it can be filed in the batch record. But when we are designing MES, how this equipment and area identification will be linked in the software system so as to have a foolproof recording system. Clean unclean status of equipment and area. Here, I would like to give one example that equipment cleaning itself is a 30 minutes to 2 hour process. And it takes in routine also, operator takes this much time. But when we want to record in the electronic system, the recording will be completed within 1 minute. So how to justify this actual process vis-a-vis electronic recording system must be considered at the time of MES designing. Preventive breakdown maintenance is generally performed by engineering people. So these people require a thorough training in the topic and that integration so that we get online data when the electronic recording is implemented. Calibration and qualification. So in a conventional system, these become a little simpler process because the moment calibration is due for recalibration or requalification, visually we get to know and it can be taken, corrective action can be taken prior taking the actual production. But when the electronic system will be implemented, so within the system, the sufficient prompt or alert must be designed. So, and that is also well in advance, not on the date of calibration due date, but it must be alerted much in advance so that before the process come, the equipment is available with the recalibration status. Otherwise, the batch recording will be stopped if the equipment calibration is found due for recalibration. And of course, utilities can be connected, but how SCADA will be integrated with the MES, that should be taken care at the design stage. Similarly, these quality control and quality assurance systems. So LIMS EMS are already implemented within the organization, but their integration with the MES must be taken care in such a way that the moment data entered within the laboratory, it is visible to the operator for going ahead with the next step. Change control, deviation, calibration, inspection, audit compliance, validation protocol and report, and complaint investigation are part of DMS. So LIMS and DMS integration designing must be done in such a way that with the single click of a tab, we should be able to generate a data for the product quality review. Again, here the focus is to save the resource and do the activity faster. Once all these validation and integration instrument interface is completed, it calls for a validation of the computer system. All the computer system must be validated for 21 CFR Part 11 compliance. At the same time, workflow for the electronic batch recording system must be created in the computer system, and that workflow also require validation. And of course, all the isolated software system like MES, SAP, LIMS, ERP, EMS, all different software must be validated as per Part 11 requirement, and then only the integration can be started. All the validation document must be retained either in the electronic copy or in a paper document, and a care must be taken for the calculation part, because sometimes these warning letters are issued for the mismatch in the calculation with respect to Excel spreadsheet and when it is checked with manual calculator. So all these activity must be taken care at the validation stage. Now we want to create a template for electronic batch record. So before going forward, SOP needs to be prepared, approved, and training must be imparted to all the people involved in the template creation. Another important step is the team formation of subject matter expert, because it is electronic batch record is simple once it is implemented, but at the same time here we don't have that easy accessibility. If there is a one page is missed, like in conventional system, if we miss one step in final batch record, then there was a provision given in the SOP to issue an additional page, and those data can be entered. But in case of electronic batch record, this provision may not be there. So the subject matter expert must be nominated from each and every functions like dispensing, sampling, testing, washing, compression, filling, inspection, labeling, packing. So all these actual user who are involved in the batch recording, they can be a SMEs, and of course the team leaders will be there in the SMEs formation. These SMEs have to prepare a template for each and every activity, because electronic batch recording require a micromanagement and micro planning. So all the different templates with the different recipes to be prepared by the SMEs. Then in a brainstorming session, these templates needs to be reviewed and finalized. And once all the templates are finalized for a particular process and product, final template can be prepared. And before going for the actual run, a pilot run is highly recommended. When the pilot run is to be planned, before that a user access must be granted at a different level, like user reviewer. In GMP it is a requirement that one activity done by operator must be cross checked by someone else. So here also in the electronic system, that provision must be kept for the user reviewer, authorizer, data manager, and administrator rights. Administrator, it is recommended to have a independent person as an administrator who is not involved in the routine activity of the batch processing. With the user role definition, a user must be granted a e-signature with the reason and date. Again, sign and date is a GMP requirement. Parallelly, a training must be started for the employee, because here in electronic batch recording system, training is very important. And what all the team involved in the electronic recording system must have adequate education, experience, and continuous training. Only then they will be able to detect any data integrity issue during the recording. And since we are going for an electronic system, each and every activity must be supported with the audit trail. And it is highly recommended that for every batch review and release, audit trail must be reviewed for the data integrity compliances. And the designing at the designing stage, we can take care to get a graphical trending of a critical process parameters so that it will ease the review mechanism of the batch record. With this batch automation, data integrity compliance for Alcoa will be highest. It is attributable e-signature with computer IP and IP address. Legible, easy to read data. Data can be printed or copied and with the easy backup. Sorry. The data will be contemporaneous. Data creation and logging done simultaneously by two operators with e-signature and date. Original data verification is easy and real-time data available. Accurate online data entry reduce chances of wrong data entry. All these data are retained within the organization as per organizational data retention policy or country regulatory requirement. Currently, we have more conventional system. So all the paper data are stored in the storage cabinet and the software data are stored in the SharePoint or share folders. But once all the data will go digitally, then the space in the SharePoint or share folder may not be sufficient to take care of the storage and audit compliance. So nowadays companies are moving for the cloud services for data storages. Few advantages I have listed here for the electronic batch recording system. This MES and SAP integration ensure issuance of only approved lot, because at the time of issuance of the materials in the warehouse, the software system will automatically pick up only approved lot because the design is made in such a way. MES LIMS and MES integration will increase productivity due to online availability of the results. In conventional system, person has to move with the release report in the production area and he has to follow all these gounding procedure, entry procedures, and again it is a time consuming activity. But with this automation, the moment it is entered in the quality control laboratory, it is visible to the production shop floor for the next processing of the activity. Online availability of environment monitoring data will ease the activity for the sterile product manufacturing facility where these results are critical with respect to the continuation of the production activity. These will reduce batch failure chances and investigation post-batch completion. In conventional system, sometimes some results are reported out of specification, but it is missed during the processing by a respective operator. So these observations are notified by QA reviewer sorry, at the time of final batch record review. Excuse me. Final batch record review. So with this digitalization, a sufficient system controls are set in the electronic recording system that even if there is a out of specification or out of trend results are recorded, then the system will generate auto pop-up or alert so that a doer can take corrective action for the investigation or correction. And of course, these automation will eliminate non-value added job of a skilled operator to copying the data from one report to the batch record. MES and DMS integration will increase compliance for online recording of the deviation. Many a times, FDA warning letters are issued for the late logging of the deviations. Whereas in case of automation, the moment any deviation occur as per the defined process, the system auto generate alert for and they will sensitize user to log a deviation. Again, the deviation review and approval time will reduce drastically because many a times in the conventional system, when a deviation is logged, person has to go to the reviewer and approver for a signature in the with the paper document. And these sometimes those reviewer and approver are not in the office. Then these increase the time of the investigation and in turn delay the process. But here with the automation, everyone will have their system online available in the handset, and they can review and approve the deviations so that the activity can be faster. And this will of course increase the compliances for on-time deviation reporting and OS investigation on time. And the most important advantage already shared by other colleagues for the reduction in the batch record review time, and it's a real saving for the resource as well. Few challenges I have listed here. Of course, it is discussed again in the other sessions. So deploying and integrating an automated batch record system can be a complex. These require significant focus and efforts from a group of people, including SMEs. Various legacy systems that function perfectly well for their specified task, but may be difficult to connect to the other technology solution, for example, harness and DT apparatus. Highly skilled operator will be required, mostly IT professional staffs, and organization has to appoint more IT staff, so naturally the cost will be increased. Status labeling at each stage of equipment and area would be a real challenge to be considered during the design of MES and the electronic batch recording system. Bugs in the system result into missing entry or the duplicate entry. Sometimes I'll give you here the one example. This granule drying recipe is set for a 30 minutes drying time. But due to bugs in the system, when the actual data transferred, it shows 15 minutes drying time. Of course, the granule LOD is within the specification limit. Recipe are set and password protected with the different level of user control. But this calls additional investigation time that also needs to be considered. And sometimes similarly, you will get duplicate entry. Drying time is 30 minutes, but sometimes due to bugs, you will get 2 times the same entry. So these call a additional investigation. And of course, implementation at contract manufacturing organization is a real challenge, because most of the companies are outsourcing product from the CMO by paying conversion cost and packing cost. So how to implement this electronic batch recording system must be thought of. And the another big challenge is with respect to the workforce. We need to have a team with the global education and talent, big data for analytics. There are continuous updation we found in a routine technology and routine systems in our handset. So with the continuous updation of the technology, all these systems require a continuous updation. Similarly, regulators are also revising their requirement time and again. So with these updated regulatory requirements, we have to be updated with our recording systems, and the web development also require periodic updates. And the most challenging challenge is the data privacy and data security. Presently, we have due to conventional system, most of the data privacy is maintained within the organization. But once we go digitally, then the data privacy will be a real challenge. So the countries are working on the data privacy and security policies. GDPR is a general data protection regulations. It's a EU law formed within the EU countries. DISHA is a Digital Information Security in Healthcare Act, which is published by a draft rule is published by Government of India in 2019. PDPA is a Personal Data Protection Act implemented within Singapore. So other countries are working on the Data Privacy and Policy Act. So I will conclude with my quote on the quality, a new paradigm. Science is no longer isolated. It is living across the life cycle of the product process within a quality management system. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jignasa. Jignasa, just wondering, has your organization implemented review by exception?
Sorry?
Has your organization
Yeah.
implemented review by exceptions?
My organization is a global organization, and they are in the process of implementing this electronic recording system. I'm in India, and I'm taking care of contract manufacturing organizations. So
Right.
within CMO, we have not implemented.
Okay, understand. Then the question from the floor, from Ari Venkata, he's asked, in MES, once the deviation is raised, how does it reach the reviewer and approver?
Yeah, so
I think that's yeah. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so in MES, when we are designing these MES and DMS integration, these care must be taken because MES is a manufacturing execution system. DMS is a document management system. These both are independent systems. So these systems require integration. And in the designing itself, it is to be considered for the pop-up and the review and release. Because here again, the access will be given to a set of people. And at a time in electronic batch recording, multiple people are entering the data. So it will be taken care at the designing stage.
Great. I think in the interest of time, we're about 20 minutes over. So if the audience has any other questions for Jignasa, you can reach her directly on the app, and I believe Jignasa will reply you and your questions. All right. Thank you very much, Jignasa. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
Wish you all the best and keep safe.
Thank you.